Hey guys, welcome. We've got a great guest coming on today. And let me just get my feed ready for you. And let me just mute this. So today we're going to have the co-founder of HighLevel join us today. And we're just waiting. We've got a new broadcast feed, so we're just waiting to get everybody on here. And so just be patient. If you have questions, bring them up. We can see those comments and we will respond. So there's a lot of people in business today that are struggling. And even those businesses that are successful right now, they have issues, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And as we bring Shaun Clark in, he's going to hit some of those tough topics. So let me just give you a refresh. Shaun started HighLevel. It has grown to a $100 million company this year. And so he has an array of white label software solutions that he says is guaranteed to add revenue to your bottom line overnight. So we've seen it, we use it, it's built, our platform is built on it. And so that's really how things are wrapped up. So if you have questions as we go through here, it's going to be about an hour long. Feel free to jump on, and we're going to have Shaun join us in just a second here. So if you can comment and just let us know where you're from or where you're watching from, that would be great. I know I can see a few people on YouTube and Facebook, and I saw Shaun in his office, and he'll be right back. So just bear with us. But some of the questions you may have are pertaining to your business. And we've got some incredible new features that were just launched last week. And we're going to go through some of those new features. And a lot of it is how to help your business specifically. So as we come about these questions, feel free to jump on. And I see Shaun jumping on right now, so we're going to add him to the stream.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome, Shaun.
Thanks for having me.
So I just gave him a brief update of kind of the background of yourself.
Awesome.
And so we're on Facebook, on 2 different Facebooks, and we're on YouTube. So we've got a few people watching, and I'm guessing they'll be jumping in as we get going. But
let's do it.
Let's just start out. What I kind of told them what HighLevel was, and I saw a comment that on your LinkedIn that says it's an array of white label software solutions that is guaranteed to add revenue to your bottom line overnight. So tell us a little bit about that for those that don't know it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, HighLevel is really designed to be a platform where you can come in, you can not only replace all of the tools that you're using probably today from 7 different software vendors and creating a bunch of zaps and all of that. So you're going to save a lot of money there. But the bigger purpose in my mind is to also give you a set of tools that are software based that you can sell to your customers to create a recurring revenue stream for yourself. So you're not just buying yet another tool, you're also buying a revenue stream that you can then sell back out to other people that you're serving.
That's awesome. We're going to go I told them about some of the new features that were just brought on recently.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
With the level up day, and we'll hit on those in just a little bit, but I want to hit some of the bigger questions.
Sure.
Some of the questions that we see, and what is the biggest feature in HighLevel that businesses can use to grow their business?
Sure. Yeah. It's the one we started with, actually. So it's really the ability to take leads and turn them into customers. And the way I think about that is, if you look at every business out there, if you've been established for 5 minutes or more, you can find a way to drive leads into your business. And so when you do that, you ultimately need to find a way to then take those leads and turn them into customers. And that's always the nurture process. And the nurture process is just, I've raised my hand, I've given you my information, and I said I'm possibly interested. But at this point, you've got to get me to a place where you can actually talk to me, tell me about what you do, give me your pitch, all of that stuff, get me started. And that process is that nurture process. And the way it works is it's really simple. It's when I raise my hand, you need to get to me immediately, and you need to get me to the next step, which is generally a booked appointment for most people. And so automating that is where you can just crush it, because the reality on the ground is if you're buying ads or you're running a business that has people coming in, they're coming in any time of the day. And if you've got a good capture mechanism, which a lot of people do, if not, HighLevel will have some for you. But at the end of the day, if you're not responding to people quickly and consistently and then following up automatically or just consistently after they come in until they book, nothing is going to happen. And if you don't do that process, that nurture process, those leads never go anywhere. And today, if you look into most businesses, it's just sort of haphazard, do my best, shotgun effect. I'll call them a couple times and then give up kind of approach. You need a system, it needs to be automated. And I'd still say that's the best feature we've got.
That's awesome. So on that, was that feature created because most businesses needed that help?
It's ultimately that it was created for a really simple reason. We worked with agencies out of the gate, and this was the number one problem they have. So if your customer is generating leads, so this is how we came into this, right? So we're working with these agencies. What's your biggest pain point? Well, I'm generating all these leads and I'm giving them to them on a spreadsheet, and then they're firing me. And it's like, well, of course they are, because they don't actually want leads. They might even tell you they want leads, but they're lying to you. They want customers, and a customer is not a name on a spreadsheet, right? Like that, names on spreadsheets don't pay bills. So how do you get them across that valley? And if we look at it, it's the nurture process. And you can tell your customer all day long, look, when I put a name on a spreadsheet, I'm going to alert you that it's there, and then you need to get on it. Never happens. Or if it does, it happens too late. And ultimately, people don't understand that. And so when we automated it, that's how we just changed the game. So I remember, one of our first customers, they walked in the door that is really good lead source, actually, but they thought it was a terrible lead source. They said they hated it because they would buy 100 leads from these people and they would convert 3. And they're like, that sucks. Right? And I'm like, you're right, that does suck. Let's fix that. So we put just the automations in place. It's the only thing. Same lead source, same leads. They went on this 3 on 100. We took them to 30 on 100 in the first month. And it was just automation. It was just when the lead came in, boom, we jumped on it. And if that person didn't automatically book an appointment, we just kept hitting them until they did, or they responded and said something else that the business could action on. But that just changed their whole world overnight.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. The name Eliza comes up because that's
our next phase in the journey for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So how does HighLevel help save businesses money? So tell me, based on what it offers, how does it save a business money?
Yeah,
I know what it did for us.
When we look at that, it's mostly that when we look at almost everybody, they're using sort of the same set of tools or the same set of functionality, but today they generally buy it from 6 or 7 different places, and then they kind of have to glue it all together, right? And so what we're doing is we're taking those same 7 functionalities and sort of putting them together in one. So that's CRM and calendar booking and voice over IP phone systems and two-way text messaging and emailing and phone calling, all this stuff. We're just putting it in one system. And landing page builder, website builder, et cetera, on and on it goes. It's 50 features long. But at the end of the day, it's those common core items that are oftentimes, because you're buying them from 7 different people, you're paying a lot more than you otherwise would if you put them into one spot. Yeah, that makes sense. And I know how amazing it is, but tell us about the scalability from the API standpoint of things, like being able to incorporate different things. Oh, I mean, we have an open developer API. So we're big fans of anybody who wants to come integrate with us. We're happy to help. And so you can really do a lot of great stuff with it. Plus, we kind of take it one more level. So there are a lot of really good APIs out there where people will cross communicate data, but we also really want to allow people to add things to the platform. And so you can also come in and actually add new features. So you can add things in the interface that not only can you use, but your customers can use, and you can even sell to other users in our ecosystem because there's lots of stuff we don't do and never will, particularly in domain specific items. So like it could be medical, it could be automotive, it could be lots of things where you can actually bake in your functionality in addition to all those core features that we have.
That's very cool. I know we use it a lot. We build a lot of Zaps, and we've even incorporated other software into it to make our platform a little bit better from the white label standpoint. And we'll talk about that. But let's deep dive into some of the new features that are coming out in the next 2 quarters here.
Okay.
And one of those, I'll let you kind of dive in because
yeah, all right, I can do that.
And screen share, but let's dive into some of the new features that are coming out.
All right, you think of the one you want to get. I'm going to grab my coffee. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, so some of the new features that are coming out are we have a Shopify feature. That's one of the biggest platforms that are out there right now. And we have also WordPress. There's something called Google Reserve. I've got all the notes that I took, and I've watched Level Up Day a few times because of it. And one-step checkouts, and just understand that all these features they built in because these were requests from users that wanted this platform to be better.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly how we roll.
In one place, and they included all that. So not only did they have Instagram direct messaging because nobody answers emails, they have Facebook Messenger, but they also have WhatsApp to reach your international clients.
That's
so
right.
Dive in. I'll let you screen share what you want to feature.
Okay, well, let me think here. I'm trying to remember that. Oh, I'm gonna bring up my slide presentation because I think that's a good place to start for Level Up Day, because then we can cover any item, then we can go deeper from there. So which one would you like me to start with?
Let's start with the WordPress, because there's a lot of people using WordPress. And
perfect. That is a great one. That's the hardest one to show, but one of the coolest ones to show. So, all right, let's do this. Share screen. All right, let's do this and share. There we go. So now I think you have to bring that out on stage, maybe. There we go. Perfect.
Got it.
Okay, so the first place we'll go is our blog, which is actually on the new hosting platform, and it's incredibly fast to load because what we did is we got access to a couple of things on the WordPress side. So let me go jump down to my WordPress slides here and see if I've got oh yeah, that's our GT metric scores for it. Oh yeah, so the WordPress hosting. So it's powered by Google, and what's really cool about it is we got access to this new CDN technology that basically makes it so that all of the stuff that loads is incredibly fast. And it's a CDN that they haven't given access to anybody else except some Fortune 500 companies. And we just got really lucky with it. It'll eventually be something lots of people can get access to. So, but for today, we have some of the fastest hosting out there that is faster than almost any of the other providers. We also built it in an incredibly scalable way. So it's, there's sort of 2 ways to do it. You can do it with sort of fixed boxes, essentially fixed servers that have limited capacity, and then when you hit the capacity, you basically spin up a bigger box and then slide things over. But that's a really kind of slow process. So the way we did it is we used a technology called Kubernetes, and what it allows you to do is sort of automatically run up a higher load, and then it'll just automatically take that load on the back end without having to spin up additional boxes and have a lot of move over time. It's literally dynamic in scale. So it's a very high performance setup relative to a lot of other hosting.
That's great. And we know from an agency standpoint how important speed is, because if you want to rank on Google, speed is everything. So since we're kind of on that topic, can you touch on Google Reserve? Because that's
sure.
That really blew my mind.
My slide on that. Hold on. Gotta find it. We had a lot of slides. Let's see. It's in here someplace. Nope. That's mobile updates. Nope. File uploads. Clearly, I don't know my slides very well, but that's okay. We'll find it. But Reserve with Google, what is so powerful about it, and so very cool, is that you'll literally be able to schedule appointments on Google. And so, yeah, that's all. Oh. All right. I'm going to give up in a minute. Hold on. All right. We're just going to Google it. Reserve with Google. Yeah. So it's the ability to actually schedule appointments right from Google. Let me see. Maybe their page does a decent. I think their page does a decent job of this. So they use the restaurant example here, but you could see it for almost anything. So, again, I think the future is very much Google My Business. And I think a lot of people already know that, but this is a really just yet another extension of it, where now instead of just going to Google My Business and then calling you or chatting you, but I can now actually book you. And I think that is really powerful for businesses, because now you're not taking me off of Google to complete my transaction. And all of the scheduling and all of the time slot availability and all of the logic that comes with that, all is powered out of HighLevel. So you'll just be able to literally enable this on your Google My Business profile.
Yeah, that's a great point, because they just released a Google Chat feature, which has a chat button. And so also in your Google local listings, people can chat with you directly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's look at that.
Through your Google listing. And it's pretty incredible how it's done.
Totally. Yeah, in fact, this is the absolute future of communicating with businesses. So right here, you can see it says new message with a live agent. Literally, it's an in-browser. I think this is the most powerful thing about it. It's an in-browser chat experience, right? So a lot of people are like, yeah, but I don't want to have to expose my mobile phone, or I don't have to have another app installed, or like you don't have to do any of that, right? It's all in browser. And so it's literally reaching out to that business. And I mean, the results we've seen is tremendous, because think about a restaurant or something, right? You want to ask, hey, do you have a table for 8 tonight at 5 o'clock or whatever it is? Just chatting in. That's so simple, because most of the time you might want to go to that restaurant, but you might also be like, I'm willing to go to this one and this one. So you're going to chat all three. And basically it's the first person to get back to you, right? And so ultimately it just opens up such great possibilities. And then also, you're not always going to be available to make a phone call. They're not always going to be there to actually answer your phone call. You put all that together, and chat it totally wins, because it's asynchronous and it makes it easy as a consumer to get a hold of a business. So I'm telling you, 5 years from now, there's not a business out there that you don't communicate with via messaging in some way.
Yeah, and the thing about Google local listings, we do a lot in optimizing those Google local listings to bring them up, because people are number 15, and we can literally overnight bring somebody up on the Google local listing into that first page. And so when you have a chat feature and a Google Reserve feature, it's a game changer. And with our software, we can literally turn it on, and boom, it's all of a sudden got that icon. So
that's perfect.
The partnership between HighLevel and Google is just incredible. So let's touch on a little bit about the Shopify features. One-step checkout.
So at the end of the day, this is what I think is really important. So going into the future here, we are going to need. Let me pull up. I'm trying to think here. Should be. I wonder if this is our account or not. Actually, let me just pull up what I know we have on this. Is we have a video that I can show for this that I think is really cool. So basically. There we go. Here's one of my engineers showing this off. So here's the way I think about this. This is like, hey, listen, if you've ever gone to a website and you go to check out on that website and it is and somebody abandons their cart, you need to be able to interact with them, right? If somebody is on your website, they check out, but then you want to send them additional follow-on stuff. You want, as far as new specials you're having. If you want to follow up on them, if they don't buy within a certain period and offer a coupon, there's all of this stuff that we need to be able to do, right? And so really with the Shopify integration, there's nothing too exciting being shown here. but this can now be done in HighLevel, just showing you can link your Shopify store. And then from there, what happens is it's available in all of the other items in the app. So that means things like the workflow builder. So let's say if you haven't seen the workflow builder, here, let me pull up my account here since I'm over here. You can, and all of a sudden you can start to do things inside or with Shopify that you couldn't do before inside HighLevel, because and this is really, if you've ever looked at, there's other tools out there at like Klaviyo or I think of Privy or things like that, where you can actually go in and you can do a lot of this marketing automation. Well, now you're going to be able to do it here. So if you come into a workflow builder and you come in and actually you can build things, instead of just being able to trigger off the CRM and Facebook, you can now also trigger off Shopify. So you can come in, abandon checkout, order placed, and then we'll expand that list of triggers. And then the other thing is, if we look at email marketing, you also need it in the email marketing side, right? So if you go to the templates here, now you actually can add in things like shopping carts over into your email templates to actually send those out. I think I may have broken my thing here. Or maybe, oh, I know what it is. It's always slower when you're in streaming. Oh yeah, see, so we have the shopping cart element here. You can throw down the shopping cart element. Oops. And now you can, all of a sudden, if you're sending out one of these emails for abandoned cart or something like that, you have the ability to display all of that. And then, of course, we'll add coupons and that sorts of things in the next couple of weeks. But really, the goal here is simple. We're going to expand this out to the point where it is the top class marketing tool for Shopify, which is the dominant e-commerce platform. And then, of course, we'll stack on WooCommerce and PrestaShop and all the other ones so that there's zero e-commerce marketing you can't do here.
Yeah, and the thing is, we have a client that uses Privy right now for their Shopify store. And I know what the price is for a lot of these features. And typically it's always per monthly. And typically it's anywhere from $49 to $100 or $99 a month. So what HighLevel has done is incorporated so many different solutions into one platform where you manage. I literally have clients that will put up HighLevel on their desktop all day long because it is a CRM. It's a way to call. You can call through there. You can chat through there. You can do so many things through it. And you don't have to move away from one software to another.
And that's totally the idea. So it's really about trying to make it so this is the one-stop shop for the whole business to run all of its marketing. And I think Shopify just helps us, because I think e-commerce, it's interesting. Businesses today that you would have never expected to have an e-commerce angle are now adding e-commerce, right? Like the local restaurant, figured out during COVID, oh, you know what? We need to be taking our homemade jelly and we need to get a t-shirt line going and, all this stuff. But you know what? It's a revenue stream that, maybe it adds $10,000 a month, but it's very meaningful for that small business. And so I think having a one-stop shop for that marketing is important.
Most definitely. And let's talk a little bit about, I always say that email is somewhat dead. If people open it, it's
That's
rare.
funny.
So if you think about it, that if you're successful in email marketing, 3% of people may open a actual email. But in HighLevel, we can connect through direct messaging, through Instagram, through Facebook Messenger,
a lot of channels,
and through WhatsApp also. So just to give you a little insight, tell us a little bit about WhatsApp and what's coming with that.
Yeah, sure. So this will roll out with our hosted Twilio model, but it's just another channel. It's just like every other channel. So, but again, if you're dealing with people who aren't in an SMS dominated market, I mean, the US and Canada tend to be very SMS centric. But, if you go to Mexico, I know I personally experienced this a lot traveling in Asia. I mean, there are lots of countries where people wouldn't use SMS to save their lives because it's expensive. It tends to be like a paper text situation a lot in these countries. So they just naturally adopted something else, and could be Facebook Messenger, could be WhatsApp, right? And where it's WhatsApp, you now have that channel as a means to communicate with folks from the marketing perspective. And now you don't have to lose out on this whole theme of messaging, right, continues to be a thing. And, maybe it's Facebook Messenger, maybe it's Google Business Messaging, maybe it's SMS, but now maybe it's WhatsApp. But it doesn't matter, because wherever your customer is, you're going to be able to reach them, and it's all seamlessly going to come back into HighLevel in the same chat channel. So when you're in this conversations window here, all of these different channels are going to be represented in this one spot. So you don't have to worry, is it an SMS? Is it an email? Is it a Facebook message? What is it? Is it a phone call, right? It's all seamlessly interwoven to the same place.
Yeah, and there's a question that came up, and actually it's perfect in this spot right here, and it's pertaining to churches. And she mentions that she went to a YouTube video on making a church more visible online.
Mm-hmm.
And but I would say not only does this make a church more visible online, but also you can communicate with your church through the platform if you have an event coming up or whatever.
So that's the other thing, right? Because a lot of people today will just rely on an email blast to let people know about something, right? But as we just talked about, I mean, we all have a lot of email coming in. I think that the SMS channel is really, really good for this type of stuff, especially if you have a group like that where everybody is going to be excited to get a message. They may not come to the event, but they're not going to view that notification as a nuisance, right? They're going to be excited to know that it's happening. I also, so I think an SMS blast is a really good way to do that. And we make it simple. You literally come in here, you go to the contacts list, and then if you just select the contacts that you want to send it to. So you'd be like, oh, I'm going to send it to all these people. I'm going to hit send SMS. And now, boom, I just write my SMS and out it goes. I think it makes things really, 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 really simple. And then the other cool thing is you can also do things like you can collect payment via SMS. You can do text to pay. So you could say, hey, we're going to have this event, but it's going to cost $20 to attend, or we're trying to get donations for it. Here's a link. Love it if you leave a donation. So there's lots of cool ways for churches and other groups like that where you can very easily get out to your audience and get a lot more engagement.
Yeah, that's great. Let me ask this. If somebody, with the economy, the way it's going, and people out of jobs and people becoming entrepreneurs, how can they partner with HighLevel and actually make money with HighLevel? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, a big part of what we're trying to help people is exactly this, right? So we have what's called SaaS mode. And in our world, what that means is every small business out there. So let's just think about all the features that we're talking about, but let's just start with a really small subset of features. So let's talk about two-way text and email conversations, Google Business Messaging, web chat, reputation management, Facebook Messenger, Google call tracking, missed call text back, and text to pay. I know that's probably a big list for some people. It's not that big of a deal, I promise. These are the types of features that every local business in North America absolutely needs, and probably every business in the world, but I feel very confident to say everybody in North America. And so, but today, most of them don't have it. And why is that? It's not necessarily because the technology doesn't exist. In fact, we know it's not because the technology doesn't exist, because it does exist. It's because that even though those business owners would even admit to you that they need that technology, they just don't know how to make it happen because they're really good at the thing that they do. So what we believe is that you can walk out into any of those local businesses and say, hey, listen, tell you what, I will give you all this functionality, which you and I can talk about how you use it, why you need it, all that stuff. But once you agree to it, I can sell it to you for whatever it is you want to price it at. But we can call it $297 a month, $97 a month, whatever it is. And it's technology enabled. So you go out, you make the sale, you charge them a setup fee, you do all this stuff. And then what happens? You walk away. That business owner has all of this amazing technology to communicate with their customers better. And you're getting a monthly recurring fee from the software, just like big software companies out there do every single day. But now you don't have to write any code. You don't have to hire a team, and you can scale your business up infinitely because you're really just helping that customer get started, answering questions that they have, but you're not having to do any of the development and creation of the platform and the software, because we've done that for you. And it's also white label. So it's your brand, all of that stuff. So it makes it very easy to create a business overnight that's applicable to almost every business out there.
And what are you doing to reward some of these people that tell us a little bit about the electric vehicle program?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we operate kind of in two different ways. So one, you could do it white label like I described, but you might say, as cool as that is, I'd really like to just send people direct. So let's say you send people direct to HighLevel. So there's two levels of reward here. So one, if you, let's say you brought a business in and they signed up directly, you would get 40% monthly recurring as an affiliate commission on anybody you send over. And if you get to, let's go look at the rules here because I don't want to misquote it. But if you bring in 75 active pro accounts, that's the high tier. We're going to give you $1,300 a month towards an electric vehicle, and the lower tier, even at 50, we're going to give you $750 a month. And what we tried to do here is, if you hit the 50, you're getting a Model 3 or a Model Y or something in that price range, and you don't have to buy a Tesla. You can buy any electric vehicle at all, even used vehicles, by the way. Or if you get to the higher tier, you can buy the more exotic stuff like the Porsche Taycan or the Model S or the Model X. And so ultimately the idea here was for people who are really willing to go out there and do amazing things for themselves, there's an extra bonus prize for kind of hitting those higher levels.
Now with to bring in a SAS account, can a person be a SAS account and bring that in, or do they go directly through HighLevel?
So it's sort of like, here's how we think about it. You sort of choose, right? If you're going to brand it yourself, go out and sell it yourself, all of that, you're getting 100% of the revenue, right? So you're actually going to get to a lot more money come through the door. You can go buy anything you want. But the burden or the extra item there is you're taking on sort of the ongoing support of the customer, right? So the other path is the affiliate path, where you can just go and you can make the introduction, you can do the pitch, you can do all that stuff. But then the sign up is actually the person coming in and signing up directly with us. That's where they become, where you're just getting a commission, but you don't have to do any of the support or any of the setup or anything like that.
That makes sense. I know a lot of people in the real estate business and insurance. Tell me how HighLevel can benefit them.
Oh, I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, how could it not? So, I mean, do they need a CRM? Yes. Do they need a way to send mass communications out to people? Absolutely. Do they need a system to follow up on leads that they get? Yes, they do. Do they need the ability to track opportunities in a pipeline so they can watch their sales come across? Yes, they do. Right? On and on. Let me get to a more exciting looking account here. But they need all of these features and functionalities in their businesses. So there's zero way that they can't benefit from this, right? So I think that there's all of that core functionality. And of course, we've got a great mobile app that goes with all of this on Android and iPhone that they can use to really make sure that they can continue to stay up with these things on the go.
That's great. Well, just one last question for you. I don't have a lot of questions. And anybody that has a question for Shaun, just you can leave that in the comments section. But what is the future of HighLevel? That's the big question, because it is growing.
Which part?
It is growing so fast. Tell us a little bit about Level Up Day and what you've done this year and what your goal is for next year.
Yeah, so I mean, we hit 15,000. I mean, the year's not over yet, so we'll see. Maybe we hit more, but I'm certain we'll hit more. But we hit 15,000 agencies this year. We'll continue to grow. 280,000, 300,000 small businesses, and we've just added a truckload of features. I would say the biggest things I'm excited for, outside of the Level Up Day items that we announced, are we'll have social media posting coming in Q4, so that's still the rest of this year. Document management is still coming out, which I think will be great. There'll be a ton of CRM upgrades, which will be awesome. Basically, almost everything I imagined adding, except the phone system, which will be in Q1. So I really think, and we'll have like coupons coming out this quarter. There's definitely some hangover items for next year, but not any big ones outside of the phone system. And the idea is really simple. Anybody who walks through the door, don't care what type of business you have, we're going to serve you, right? And we're going to give you tools that you can sell to all kinds of other types of businesses one way or another and create that revenue stream. Because I think what's important to note is all of these tools are table stakes for running a business now. It's just, where do you get them and who do you get them from and why? And what we're finding is that in the past, you would always assume you get these from a, quote unquote, a software company, right? But the problem with a software company is, as a small business owner, I don't have time to learn all this stuff. I don't have time to figure it out, set it up, maintain it, just run it, whatever, right? I need help. And so now, in the past, I would go find sort of a third party who would then not only tell me to go sign up for these products, but then support them. But now we're doing something super different. We're saying, look, stop taking your customers and recommending them out to other people. Keep them all in-house and get the revenue for both the service and the software together in your roof. So that way, you know, and if you've done this for any time at all, what you've learned is that there are times when people will say, listen, you're a great guy, Shaun, but we're gonna go ahead and pause those services for now, and we'll just circle back around in a couple of months. And what that really is a nice way of saying is, like, you're fired. But if you were to ask them, look, but are you going to keep that software or this software that I just signed up with? They're going to be like, well, of course we are.
Yeah.
So the problem is, you just lost revenue, but the software company did not. So in this situation, we make you the software company, and they could still fire you for the services. But guess what? You get to keep the revenue on the software side. And if you look at all the software companies out here, this is the exciting thing. Why do software companies get valued at hundreds of millions and billions of dollars and raise 10 million here and 100 million there and 500 million there? It's because they have these nice recurring revenue streams that have nothing to do with services. They have nothing to do with, do you have a fleet of 100 people sitting in an office somewhere that are expensive? They're, hey, we have this really cheap, inexpensive 98% margin product that just racks up and stacks up every month. That's what we're giving you, now you can go out and be that software company, collect that revenue. It's a pretty amazing change relative to what's happening today.
Yeah, that's great. And let me just say this. I get a lot of people that come to me because I really push HighLevel a lot. And from two different standpoints, the SAS and HighLevel. And I have different clients that, you know, I feel need to go directly to HighLevel. There's some that are my clients that go directly through me. So it's a win-win deal. But they have a fast track program. So if you're looking to be a pro or a SAS user, Paulson does an incredible job on teaching the university. I started watching those videos myself just to understand them a little bit better. They do not leave you hanging. Their community, if you have a question about anything, you go in there, there's 15,000 members, and they're going to answer your question. They've got incredible tech support, and they boosted that up to Zendesk recently. In fact, I was just on prior to this call because we had a little bug in a site, and bam, within 5 minutes, it was a chat, it was working. And so just remember, you know, most companies or softwares you take on are usually a situation that are overwhelming, but with HighLevel, it is not overwhelming. You can take a piece of this and turn an ROI very, very quickly. So we've got some links below this video. Reach out to HighLevel also at GoHighLevel.com. If you have any questions, just let us know. And we're always here to help you. Shaun is a great person. I appreciate your time, Shaun.
Yeah, it was awesome to be here. I really appreciate the invite.
Yes, definitely. So any last words?
You know, I think it's a great time to be starting a business. I think that I think COVID, for everything horrible that it did, I think one of the best things it did is it helped push businesses to adopt digital technology. But if you look at their experience in this adoption, it's no different than it was in the past, which is, as a business owner, I may know that I need this stuff. And the great news is I know I need it more than ever. But as I go out into the world to try to find it, it is no less confusing today than it was 5 or 10 years ago. And it just breaks down to the fact that I need someone who can get in there, learn it, know it, and then just help me make it happen. I don't have time to learn this stuff. This will never change. And if you think digital technology is getting simpler, you're wrong. If you think digital marketing is getting simpler, you're wrong, because it's inherently a competitive market space, right? So if today it's like this ad does this, and and this ad is perfect for that. Someone else is going to come along and try to one up it, and they will, and on and on and on and on it goes, which is why marketing is a real vocation. It's a real job that requires real skills and real experience. And it's not something that you can take a break from and come back 3 years later. It'll be a totally different landscape. So if you're the HVAC person or the lawyer or the dentist or something, none of that can be something you can engage with if you're truly going to be good at what you do and grow your business. And so I think this opens up a massive hole in the market for people to come along and say, hey, I got you. You need this type of digital technology. I'm going to put it in place for you. We make it happen for you. And this type of service, and you can get it all from me. One-stop shop, 2 revenue streams, huge win.
Well, good deal. Thanks, Shaun. I saw Paulson jumped up on a comment, so that's how his ears were burning. So,
yeah, there it is.
That's how the HighLevel family is. They're always welcome to the Dallas office, and
yeah, that's right.
The team, and I've dealt with.
You can come by the Eugene office, but you're only gonna see me. So
right. Well, good deal. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you as always. So you have a great day.
You too. Bye, Jim. Bye, everybody.
Thanks a lot.